And our final speaker for this portion of the event is KU's Vice Chancellor for Public Affairs and Economic Development, David Cook.
Thank you, Hugh. And again, David Cook, I'm, as Hugh just mentioned, the Vice Chancellor of Public Affairs and Economic Development. I'm relatively new. I started May 1st. I've worked with KU for a long time. I used to oversee the KU Edwards campus in Overland Park most recently. So a couple of quick things. In my public affairs role, I'm trying to do the difficult task of replacing Reggie Robinson, but thought I'd just mention that in case that would be helpful for you to understand my role. On the economic development side, that's a brand new focus for the university in this kind of a position. And so on another day, I'd love to talk with all of you about that role and would love to follow up at any time. Also probably worth mentioning, especially our elected officials, you all know Kelly Witten as our state relations person. Kelly's been on maternity leave, but she gets back this next week and is gonna, so you'll be seeing as much of me as her this next session. And again, thank you all for what you do in supporting us. I really appreciate it. I know the university really appreciates it. And I look forward to working with you this next session. Now, a lot of people are teasing me that I don't know the holidays are over, so I apologize. We'll get the act together at the cookhouse here and get the Christmas tree out of the background sooner rather than later. But anyway, we're starting to see the new year off a little slow. There are really two priorities for the University of Kansas that I want to mention, and they've kind of been touched on a couple of times. Paul Davis mentioned them both as well. So, and they're listed right there in the state legislative priorities, and they relate to restoring our budget funding to last year levels, and then also the University Engineering Initiative Act. So as you all know, as was mentioned earlier, as we're all dealing with, budgets are pretty difficult. And for the university, we kind of got hit on pretty much all of our revenue streams this last year, and we still have tough times ahead. One of the concerns we had late this fall was when the governor's division of budget had come out and recommended a 10% budget cut to universities. And that also included a 3% allotment from the previous legislative session. So you add it together, it's a 13% cut. Meanwhile, you know, we're struggling. Our enrollment was a little bit down, actually pretty good. But, you know, all of our auxiliaries, housing, dining, research, and all the rest are taking some difficult cuts as well. And so it feels like we're kind of getting hit and beat up. And so I'd say the positive side of that is we were fortunate to have a couple of meetings with the governor and her team late fall to explain these issues in a little more detail. By we, I mean the Chancellor and I, but also President Meyer from K-State and Sue Peterson, their government relations person. And so I just want to mention that, you know, KU and K-State are working together on these issues because we think they're important. We're trying to be proactive. And so we will see. I think the next milestone is going to be the governor's state of the address this next week and see how that all goes. And then for us anyway, it's going to be really seeing where that number hits. And then enrollment, we're starting February 1st, of course, for this next session. Enrollment is going to be challenging, and that's another spot. And then frankly, seeing what the federal government does for us. So we don't know exactly what our budget situation is until a few of those things hit, but we're pretty sure it's going to be challenging and difficult. And so your support in helping us restore budget funding is going to be really, really important to the university. And so I can go into a lot more detail. There's a lot of numbers and things there, but just wanted to at least mention the budget situation as something that's going to be really important to us. The other one is the University Engineering Initiative Act. And so about 10 years ago, I think technically 9 years ago, state leaders came together and recognized that we had a problem, a workforce and talent problem around engineering. And so they had the vision to bring together the University of Kansas, Kansas State University, and also Wichita State to say we need to invest in our schools of engineering to increase the number of engineering graduates in the state. And so they did that. And so the Engineering Initiative Act brings together $3.5 million per school annually. And so you add it up, that's $10.5 million. Each of the schools matches it. And so next thing, you know, you're getting up to $21 million a year investing in this really important workforce and talent issue. And so this was a 10-year initiative. We have this year and then next year, and then those dollars go away. By all accounts, this last year, the goal was to graduate 870 engineers. In 2021, the Act allowed us all three collectively to graduate 1,365 graduates. So it's been very successful, and we'd like to have it continue. And so you're going to hear us talking more about that this next year. It's funded, I think, worth noting, out of the Expanded Lottery Act Revenue Fund, not the State General Fund. And everybody's a little nervous. That's the fund where the casino money goes into, right? And so not sure how many people have been going to the casino this last year, with all that's going on with COVID, but so we're kind of working through some of that. And so we think this is incredibly important to the universities, to the state, and frankly, to the region. One thing we're going to try even harder to do with those dollars is to make sure when our students graduate, our engineering students, they're staying in the state of Kansas more than we've ever tried. And I will tell you, when I'm wearing my economic development hat, that's going to be a new focus for the university as well. So we want our graduates to, stay in Lawrence, stay in Douglas County, stay in the state, and even stay in the region as a priority for the university in a way that we've not quite thought about before. So that's important for the Engineering Initiative Act, but it's important for the university as well. So anyway, I know 5 minutes goes fast, but the budget situation is really important to us. Would be happy to talk with any of you about that further. And the Engineering Initiative Act is a really important one, I think, for the state and for the university, and would be happy to talk with any of you about that further as well. And so, Hugh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present, and I'll mute my mic here.